Hey there everyone, welcome to this video of my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Carolera and today I'm going to be talking about the movie My Week with Marilyn. It was directed by Simon Curtis and it came out back in 2011. It has a spectacular cast. Kenneth Branagh, Julia Ormond, Judi Dench, Derek Jacobi, Emma Watson, Eddie Redmayne, Michelle Williams and Michael Kitchens. And the story deals about this sort of autobiography of Colin Clark, who was a British writer and filmmaker. And he was in his early 20s. He worked on the set of the movie The Prince and the Showgirl, starring Sir Laurence Olivier and Marilyn Monroe. Before I begin, let me just say that this will be a video with spoilers. I saw the movie back when it first came out in the movie theater with my mother, and I remember that as I was watching it, I loved it, and I came back to my house and I was working on this high school project, but I was thinking back on the movie and I was having difficulty concentrating. And there are several reasons why this happened. I like the actors that were in it, and I am an Anglophile. So seeing this film that deals so much with England, I was attracted to it. But it goes way deeper than that. I love the golden age of Hollywood. I adore even more the British film industry from the 1930s onwards. I have two favorite actresses, both of them British. One of them is Vanessa Redgrave and the other one is Vivien Leigh, who played Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, my favorite movie and novel of all time. Scarlett is my favorite female character also, and Vivien Leigh is to me the most beautiful woman that has ever lived. Fascinates me. So it was touching to see her in My Week with Marilyn, and it hurt me to see her at a time when I know her marriage to Larry was going to end pretty soon, when she's feeling the loss of her youth most keenly. And even though I thought that Julia Ormond, whom I love from all her movies from the 90s, played her a bit too nice in this movie, a sort of like whitewashed version, I still think that it was great we got to see Vivien Leigh in this film. Anyways, another thing that intrigued me about My Week with Marilyn was seeing the talented Kenneth Branagh playing Laurence Olivier. These two are one of the greatest Shakespeare actors out there, along with Derek Jacobi, Sir John Gielgud, Benedict Cumberbatch, David Tennant. So yes, because of all of this and more, which I shall tell you later on, I have always loved My Week with Marilyn. As I said earlier, this story is about the time when Colin Clark worked on the set of The Prince and the Showgirl. And during that time, he didn't only got to hang around with British cinema legends, he also met American acting royalty. He supposedly had a brief affair with Marilyn Monroe, the star of the movie. The portrayal of their relationship is very platonic here. And since I have not read the book that deals with Clark's memories of that time, called The Prince, the Showgirl and Me, I don't know how historically accurate this is. Still, one of the reasons why I find this movie so fascinating is because it's so innocent and it's pure and bittersweet. I love how we have Marilyn Monroe here, the most famous sex symbol of all times, and yet we don't see her getting involved in this morbid, passionate love affair. And I think that works wonders to show the audience that she was a troubled soul and that she suffered because many people just thought that her looks were the only worthwhile thing about her. I think this is even more powerful than other films I've seen about her, where they deal with the problems she faced as a little girl or everything that she had to deal with in Hollywood that was corrupt. More as to why I love this film later on. My Week with Marilyn also shows other things. For example, it gives us glimpse into the last years of the Olivier's marriage, to the whole method acting prompted by the Strasbourg couple, from which actors such as Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, Eli Wallach, and Bancroft, Paul Newman, Jane Fonda, James Dean, Montgomery Clift, and Elia Kazan developed their skills. It also sheds light on how Sir Laurence Olivier was this fantastic theater actor and he longed to be just as good in the movies. And yet his wife Vivien Leigh and Marilyn Monroe, up to a point, they were just fantastic movie actresses, but maybe not as good in the theater. And yet at least Vivien Leigh, she would have preferred to be a better stage performer and dazzle before the camera. But yes, anyways, it's fascinating to see the puppy love that Colin Clark has for Marilyn. I'm sure you're not surprised that I give My Week with Marilyn a 5 out of 5 stars review, but apart from all the reasons I have already mentioned why this movie appeals to me so much, there are still some things that I would like to point out, like how even the most simple details have such a big impact for me. For example, at the end of the movie, we get to learn that Sir Laurence Olivier was going to go on play one of his most famous roles, Archie Rice, in the theater. And this may not seem important to many, but to me, it makes me sad because that's where he met his next wife, Joanne Plowright, and his divorce from Vivien was very hard for her. Moving on, I also like to see that we get a little bit of Arthur Miller in there because I'm a writer. And now, as to Marilyn Monroe and Michelle Williams' performance of her. I've never been particularly fond of Marilyn Monroe. I like her, but to me, she isn't one of the best actresses that have ever lived. In a way, it does hurt me to think about those moments when she was next to Vivian Leigh, because the former was this beautiful rising star, and Vivian Leigh was sort of going to the background because of her age. And so my heart goes out to Vivian because she must have felt threatened by Marilyn. So yes, even though I like Marilyn and I think that Michelle Williams' portrayal of her here was fantastic, I don't feel as bad for what Marilyn went through. I mean, I can't imagine that difficult life that Marilyn Monroe must have had. And it's so tragic that she didn't get the recognition she longed for as a serious performer. And then Michelle Williams. I don't think that she's that pretty. I mean, at least compared with Marilyn Monroe, who was a really stunning woman. But I just take my hat off to Michelle here because she did a fantastic, as I said, work with bringing this sort of new aspect of Marilyn into the screen, into the big screen. It's just like magic happens whenever I see Michelle play Marilyn, a magic that I don't find in any other role that Williams plays. And even if there are better Marilyn Monroe performances out there, more accurate, that's spark of innocence and vulnerability and mischievousness that Williams puts into the role, it just goes right to my heart. So I guess this is it for my review of my week with Marilyn. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you did, or if you I want to talk to you about anything I said here or anything you want to point out to me that I didn't mention. In the description box below you can find the link to the film's IMDb page. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and may you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Goodbye!